The rain hammered against the city streets, painting them in silver streaks under the dim streetlights. Maya adjusted the hood of her jacket, clutching her notebook tightly. Tonight felt different, heavier somehow, like the air itself carried a warning. She had received a tip earlier that day, an anonymous message claiming she would find answers about the recent disappearances if she went to the abandoned warehouse at the edge of town. Her pulse quickened as she navigated the puddle-laden alleys. Every shadow seemed to stretch and twist, every distant noise amplified in the quiet night. She had done investigative work before, faced threats and lies, but this felt alive, almost personal. As she approached the warehouse, the rusted gates creaked in protest under the wind. Maya's instincts screamed caution, but curiosity won over fear. Pushing the gates aside, she entered the dark, cavernous space. Dust hung in the air, illuminated by the flickering light of a single bulb overhead. Her footsteps echoed eerily. The warehouse smelled of decay, damp wood, and something else, metallic, sharp, unsettling. She flipped open her notebook, checking the scribbled notes she had made during the day. Names, dates, locations, connections she had begun to uncover. And then a sound. A soft click behind her. Maya froze, heart hammering. Footsteps? A shadow moving? She swung around, flashlight slicing through the darkness. Act! Just crates stacked haphazardly, casting long, jagged shadows across the concrete floor. You're not alone. A voice whispered inside her mind, or maybe it was just the fear. She shook her head and moved cautiously toward the back of the warehouse. Sudden movement caught her eye. Piece of paper fluttering from the ceiling, landing at her feet. Kneeling, she picked it up. In jagged handwriting, it read, "They are watching. Leave while you still can." Maya's stomach twisted. Who had left this? And why? Her curiosity battled her fear. She had chased stories before, but nothing like this. This was no ordinary tip. It was a trap, a warning, or both. She heard another sound. A soft shuffle, deliberate. Maya's eyes darted around, flashlight sweeping over rusty machinery and stacked crates. Then she saw it. A dark figure, hooded at the far end of the warehouse. Standing still, watching. "Hello?" Maya called out, voice trembling. No reply. Just the shadow. Silent, unmoving. Her instincts screamed to run, but she couldn't. Not yet. She had to know what was happening. Who was behind the disappearances? Who was watching her? The figure stepped forward, slow and deliberate. And then, before Maya could react, the lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the warehouse. Her flashlight flickered and died, leaving her in pitch black. A cold hand gripped her shoulder. Panic surged through her body. She twisted, screamed, but there was no one there. A whisper, icy and calm, filled her ear. "Maya, you shouldn't have come alone." Her heart pounded in her ears as she felt the air shift. Someone or something was there, unseen, moving around her. She scrambled backward, arms flailing, crashing into crates. Her notebook fell open, pages scattering. Names, locations, dates, all revealed to someone else now, and then a sudden silence. To complete, too deliberate. Maya pressed herself against the wall, breathing heavily, senses alert. Whoever or whatever had been there was gone. But the message was clear. She was not alone. And the city held secrets far darker than she had ever imagined, she realized. Trembling that she had crossed into something she couldn't walk away from. Tonight would change everything. And if she wasn't careful, she might vanish without a trace. Maya's mind raced as she stumbled out of the warehouse, heart still hammering. The rain had stopped, leaving the streets slick and reflective. Every step echoed ominously against the empty buildings. Whoever or whatever had been in that warehouse knew exactly where she had been, and now they were watching. She pulled her jacket tighter around her, trying to calm the tremors running down her spine. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number appeared. "You shouldn't have come alone. They're closer than you think." Maya froze. Her pulse surged. Closer. She had already sensed Eaton's almost tangible presence following her steps ever since she had left her apartment. Now this message confirmed it. Someone was stalking her, orchestrating every moment. She ducked into a nearby cafe, pretending to check her phone. The barista looked up, smiling politely, unaware of the tension gripping her. Maya scanned the room, searching for anomalies, for anyone out of place. But it was just the usual late-night crowd, tired workers, students hunched over laptops, sipping coffee to keep awake. She tried calling her best friend, Armand, but the call wouldn't connect. Then another text came through. "Stop running. The truth will find you." Maya's chest tightened. She had been investigating the disappearances for weeks, chasing leads no one else dared touch. And now it felt like the story had turned against her. Every alley she had walked, every street she had crossed it was all being tracked. She left the cafe cautiously, shadows her only cover. Each corner she turned, each puddle she avoided, heightened the sense that someone was always one step behind her. A sudden movement caught her eyes, a figure standing under a flickering streetlight ahead. Hooded, tall, silent, her stomach churned. She knew immediately it was him, the stranger from the warehouse. The same presence that had whispered in her ear, that had vanished without a trace, was now back, patient and calculated. Maya's hands trembled as she ducked behind a dumpster, breathing shallow. She had no weapon, no plan, just instincts sharpened by fear. The stranger's shadow stretched across the wall, inching closer. Her mind screamed at her to run, but the streets were too exposed. She had nowhere to hide. Then, a sudden thought, her investigation notes. If she could leave a trail of her own, maybe she could outsmart him, lure him somewhere controlled, gain the upper hand. Maya slipped the notebook into her bag, tucking the pages carefully. She needed a plan, and fast. Footsteps approached. She peeked. The stranger was moving slowly, deliberately, almost taunting her. Maya's pulse raced. She realized something. He wanted her fear, wanted her panic. That was his power. And now, she had to reclaim hers. She ducked into an alleyway and sprinted toward the old bridge at the edge of town, a place she knew well, where she could hide, think, and maybe turn the tables. Rain-slicked cobblestones made her footing treacherous, but adrenaline propelled her forward. Reaching the bridge, she pressed herself against the cold railing. Breathing heavily, eyes scanning every shadow, the stranger appeared at the far end, stopping abruptly, as if sensing her exact position. He raised a hand, slightly calm, controlled, calculating. Maya realized the terrifying truth. This wasn't just a stalker. This was someone orchestrating the investigation, testing her courage, her limits, and her resolve. And she was caught in a deadly game where every choice mattered. Her phone buzzed again. Another text. "The game begins now. Decide wisely." Maya swallowed hard. The investigation had become personal. Survival depended not just on speed or stealth, but on her wits, her courage, and the ability to anticipate a mind that seemed always one step ahead. And in the shadows of the city, with the stranger waiting at the bridge, Maya knew that the night had only just begun in her life. Her secrets and her determination would be tested like never before. Maya crouched behind the bridge railing, heart hammering, pulse deafening in her ears. The stranger's silhouette was visible at the far end, still and deliberate. Rain dripped from the rooftops, pattering against the water below, masking the soft scrape of shoes on wet pavement. Every instinct screamed danger, but Maya's determination had sharpened. She couldn't let fear control her anymore. Her phone buzzed again. Another message, brief, chilling. "You can't hide forever. The truth always finds the light." Maya swallowed hard, gripping her bag tightly. She knew she had to move. She couldn't wait for him to corner her. Slowly, she edged along the bridge, eyes flicking between shadows, calculating the distance, timing her steps with precision. One wrong move, and she could fall or worse. Suddenly, the stranger stepped forward, deliberately, as if anticipating her every move. Panic surged, but Maya forced herself to breathe, steady her hands, and focus. Survival depended on calm thinking, not frantic running. She remembered a narrow service alley beneath the bridge. If she could reach it, she might gain some advantage, a place to hide, regroup, and turn the tables. Gathering every ounce of courage, she bolted, feet slipping on wet concrete, heart pounding with every step. The stranger followed, silent but relentless, never breaking stride. Maya ducked into the alley, shadows swallowing her. The narrow walls made her movements treacherous, but also concealed her from view. She paused, trying to catch her breath, listening. Footsteps. No, the stranger was not far behind, but he was patient, calculating. Letting her believe she had a moment of safety, she rifled through her bag, pulling out her notebook. The clues, the notes, her investigation, they were more than just research now. They were potential weapons, breadcrumbs to manipulate the stranger, to reveal him. She scribbled a new note quickly, sliding it along the alley floor, hoping he would see it and take the bait. A sudden shadow moved across the alley entrance. Maya froze. The stranger stepped into view, hooded and calm, eyes fixed on her. She held her breath, heart threatening to leap out of her chest. "You're clever," he said, voice low, almost approving. But cleverness only delays the inevitable. Maya gritted her teeth. "I'm not just running. I'm surviving." He smiled faintly. "There's a difference between surviving and controlling your fate, Maya, and tonight you'll learn it." Before she could respond, the alley erupted with movement. Police officers, alerted by Armand, who had been tracking her phone, flooded in from the other end, cutting off the stranger's escape. He stepped back, hooded and calculating. Realizing the trap, Maya's heart surged with relief, but she knew this was far from over. The stranger was patient, intelligent, and always one step ahead. She couldn't underestimate him. The officers moved cautiously, restraining the stranger as he finally removed his hood. His calm, controlled demeanor remained, but his eyes betrayed something darker, an obsession with Maya, her secrets, and the game he had orchestrated. Maya exhaled, trembling, adrenaline still coursing through her veins. She realized something vital. She hadn't just survived the night. She had outsmarted him using courage, intelligence, and strategy. But the danger, the conspiracy, the hidden truths, they were still out there. Her phone buzzed one last time. A message from an unknown number. "The night is only the beginning. Be ready." Maya's pulse raced, but she no longer felt helpless. She had faced fear, confrontation, and manipulation, and survived. She understood now that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Rain continued to fall lightly, washing the streets in silver reflections. Maya stood tall, notebook clutched, eyes scanning the horizon. The city held secrets, darkness, and dangers yet unseen, but she was ready. Ready to uncover the truth, to fight for her life, and to confront whatever came next. The city was quiet now. The rain reduced to a soft drizzle, leaving puddles that reflected the neon glow of distant signs. Maya sat in her small apartment, notebook open, reviewing every detail of her investigation. Every disappearance, every anonymous tip, every shadow she had sensed, it was all connected. She could feel it. Someone was orchestrating events, and the stranger wasn't acting alone. Her phone buzzed. A message from Armand. "I found something. Meet me at the old library. Urgent." Maya's stomach tightened. The library was in the oldest part of the city, abandoned since the last renovation, its halls echoing secrets and whispers of the past. She grabbed her bag, stuffed it with essentials, and stepped into the damp streets. Senses alert. As she walked, her mind replayed the stranger's words. "The night is only the beginning. Be ready." Every step she took felt under scrutiny, every shadow a potential threat. She noticed a figure slipping behind a corner, disappearing before she could get a good look. Goosebumps rose on her skin. The city had become a maze, each street a test of her courage and wit. Arriving at the library, Atimo saw Armand waving from a side entrance. He looked tense, glancing over his shoulder. "We don't have much time," he whispered. "Look at this." He handed her a folder filled with photographs, maps, and cryptic notes. The images showed the missing people, their last known locations, and symbols, strange, deliberate, almost ritualistic. Maya's heart pounded. This wasn't random. Each disappearance, each movement was part of a bigger design. And the stranger. He was the key, either leading her toward the truth or toward danger she couldn't yet see. Suddenly, a noise echoed through the empty library, footsteps on the creaky floor above. Maya and Armand froze. The stranger had found them. "Stay calm," Armand whispered. "We need a plan." Maya scanned the library, spotting a narrow staircase leading to a hidden upper level. "We can hide there for now," she said. They climbed silently, hearts hammering as the footsteps grew closer. A shadow passed by the main entrance below, and they held their breath. From their vantage point, Maya could see the stranger's hooded figure moving methodically through the library, inspecting every corner. He paused near the main hall, reading notes scattered on a table. His eyes narrowed. He knew someone had been here, and he was tracing the breadcrumbs. Maya whispered to Armand, "He's clever, but maybe we can use that against him. He's predictable when he thinks he's controlling everything." Armand nodded, tension evident on his face. "We need to act fast. The longer we wait, the closer he gets." Maya took a deep breath, recalling every piece of evidence she had gathered over the weeks. She realized the stranger's obsession wasn't just with the missing people, it was with her knowledge, her courage, and her determination to uncover the truth. He had underestimated her resourcefulness. With a silent nod to Armand, she formulated a plan: lure him to the upper level using a trail of notes, symbols, and false leads, then trap him long enough to uncover his identity and motives. Every instinct, every step, had to be precise. As they moved, Maya's heart pounded with anticipation. The night had already tested her, challenged her courage, and revealed her own fears. Now she was ready to take control, confront the stranger, and finally expose the truth behind the disappearances. Outside, the city slept unaware. But inside the old library, the game was intensifying. Shadows shifted, footsteps approached, and the night that had begun with fear and uncertainty, was now heading toward a revelation that would change everything. Maya and Armand crouched behind a dusty bookshelf, hearts pounding as the stranger moved below. The flickering lights cast eerie shadows, making the library feel alive with anticipation. Every creak of the floorboards, every distant drip of water, amplified their tension. "He's looking for us," Armand whispered, voice tight. "We can't stay hidden forever." Maya nodded, gripping her notebook. She had laid out a trail of false notes and symbols, hoping to lure him into a trap. But now, seeing him in action, methodical, precise, calculating, she realized he might be one step ahead. The stranger paused in the main hall, tilting his head, studying the scattered papers. "Clever," he murmured under his breath, "but not clever enough." Maya felt a chill. His voice wasn't angry, just calm, almost amused. It was that eerie calm that made him terrifying. He had the confidence of someone who believed they controlled everything. "We have to move," Maya said, eyes scanning a nearby staircase leading to the upper balcony. "Follow me." They climbed silently, avoiding the wooden steps that groaned under their weight. From the balcony, they could see him clearly hooded, tall, silent eyes scanning every corner. He wasn't frantic. He wasn't panicking. He was patient, as if the night itself bent to his will. Maya pulled out her notebook, whispering to Armand, "He wants the truth. He's obsessed with control. Let's give him what he expects, but on our terms." They dropped another note, this one containing a deliberately misleading clue, a fabricated location and a time meant to draw him upward. The stranger's head snapped toward the stairs, and for a brief second Maya felt a surge of hope. He was falling into their plan. As he ascended the stairs, their hearts pounded. Maya clutched Armand's hand. Every second felt stretched, fragile, vital. Then he reached the balcony, stopping just a few steps away. Maya could see his face beneath the hood now, calm, controlled. But then she froze. There was something familiar about his eyes, something that made her blood run cold. "Maya," he said softly, almost reverently, I didn't expect it to come this far. Her stomach twisted. Recognition flashed in her mind. The stranger wasn't a stranger. He was someone from her past, someone she had trusted, someone she'd never expected to manipulate her life so completely. "Why?" she demanded, voice trembling. "Why are you doing this?" He smiled faintly, a mixture of sorrow and obsession. "Because the world doesn't forgive secrets. And I needed to see if you could survive yours." Shock froze Maya. Every disappearance, every cryptic note, every chase it had been orchestrated by someone she once called a friend. Someone who knew her deepest fears, her vulnerabilities. In her courage, Armand gripped her arm. "Maya, what do we do?" She swallowed, heart hammering. "We end it tonight. No more running. Swift, precise movements." They executed their plan, trapping him temporarily behind a stack of heavy shelves, giving Maya the chance to secure evidence, photographs, notes, and proof of the conspiracy. Every clue she had gathered over weeks now became a weapon. The stranger struggled, but Maya and Armand had prepared meticulously. And as they restrained him, a message echoed in Maya's mind. Fear alone couldn't control her. It was courage, intelligence, and resolve that determined survival. The night's confrontation revealed the truth she had been chasing, but also left a lingering question. How many others were involved? Watching, waiting? Rain began tapping against the broken windows, soft and rhythmic. The library, once silent, now felt like a battlefield that had tested every ounce of their courage. Maya knew the danger wasn't entirely gone, but for the first time, she felt empowered. She had faced the orchestrator of terror, uncovered a shocking truth, and survived. The stranger glared at her, restrained but defiant. Maya met his eyes, unflinching. "Your control ends now." And in the quiet aftermath, Maya realized something profound. Survival isn't just about escaping danger, it's about understanding it, confronting it, and emerging stronger than ever. The first rays of dawn filtered through the broken windows of the abandoned library, casting long golden streaks across dust-laden floors. Maya stood over the restrained figure of the stranger, someone she had once trusted, now revealed as the orchestrator of terror that had gripped the city. Her hands trembled slightly, adrenaline still coursing through her veins, but her eyes burned with determination. Armand adjusted the zip ties on the stranger, glancing at Maya. "It's finally over." "For now," he said, but uncertainty lingered in his voice. Maya shook her head. "No, it's not over. The truth is only partially revealed. There are still pieces missing, connections we haven't uncovered yet. But we survived tonight, and that's the start." The stranger who'd removed met her gaze. His expression was calm, almost admiring, despite being restrained. You've grown stronger than I expected," he said. "Most would have broken under fear, but you faced it." Maya swallowed, a mix of relief and fury rising inside her. "You underestimated me. Fear doesn't control me anymore, and neither do you." She turned to Armand, who had been a constant anchor through the night. "We need to contact the authorities. Present the evidence. Every note, every photograph, every clue. People need to know what's been happening." As they compiled the evidence, Maya noticed something unsettling. More folders, hidden in a secret compartment of the library. Each contained details of people yet to disappear, locations, times, and even maps of surveillance routes. The conspiracy was larger than they had imagined. Maya's stomach tightened. The stranger had been just one part of a network, an orchestrator in a much bigger game. But she felt something shift inside her. Fear no longer paralyzed her. Instead, clarity and purpose filled the space once occupied by dread. She and Armand transmitted the evidence to authorities and local journalists, ensuring the web of disappearances would be exposed. The police promised to investigate thoroughly. Maya felt a small but significant victory. She had reclaimed control. Stepping outside into the crisp morning air, Maya inhaled deeply. The city stretched before her, quiet, unaware of the horrors that had occurred in its shadows. But for Maya, the night had changed everything. She had faced manipulation, fear, and betrayal, and had emerged not just alive but empowered. Armand stood beside her. "Do you think it's really over?" he asked, Maya glanced back at the library, the place where her courage had been tested to the extreme. For now, she said, voice steady. The network may still exist, but we have the upper hand. We know the rules, we know the players, and we know how to survive. A sense of calm settled over her. She had survived the orchestrated terror, exposed the truth, and taken control of her life. The fear that had haunted her now seemed like a distant echo, a reminder of the strength she had discovered within herself as she walked down the street with Armand. The first full light of day illuminating the city. Maya realized something profound. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. She had been tested, pushed to the edge, and she had chosen to confront the darkness rather than hide from it in the distance. The sound of sirens grew closer, signaling that the authorities were moving in. Maya's heart was lighter now. She knew the fight wasn't entirely over, but she had taken the first decisive step toward justice, truth, and safety. And in that moment, Maya understood the ultimate lesson of the night. Even in the deepest shadows, light can emerge, courage can prevail. And secrets, no matter how dark, can be confronted. The city awoke around her. Rain-soaked streets glimmering, as a young woman who had vanished into fear the night before now walked tall, unbroken and ready to face whatever came next.